Well, I was asking Noah to do me a favor during the time. A lot of things the Lord seems speaking my heart revealed. Um, I don't know, personal. I think it's beyond personal because the illness suffered and a lot of things were given in a weekly way, but was very significant and I think key points way. So I was asking the Lord to use Noah to borrow his gift, to speak to things, confirm the things that he had been revealing to me personally as well. I was surprised on the way he shared his vision and seeing the confirmation that it carries. So I want to Noah to basically repeat that vision for us recorded. So you had it yesterday, right? So,
That's right. Yeah.
well, yesterday is the first day I take a shower.
Goodness.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
I was able to take a shower. So
That's good.
yeah, go ahead. My point is when I take the shower, the Lord told me this is very important.
Interesting. Wow.
Being washed.
Yeah.
And they told me just throw all the clothes which will be burned. So
Hmm.
is that amazing?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of clothes under my bed, you know. So
Hmm.
yeah. Go ahead.
In the vision, it started out where I saw just a very large pile of ash.
You held pretest, maybe the contest. You do that. I just want you to repeat what you shared in the car.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem.
Take your
Well, before the vision, having just spent some time in prayer for Immanuel, I just had a distinct impression of some of the things I think the Lord had been doing in Immanuel's life and his spiritual life, and I of course did not have really much understanding as to its significance or its true meaning, I guess, but just wanted to share with Immanuel what those things were, and essentially I had the impression that Immanuel, as a king and a priest in God's house, had been, I guess, further established, and that authority had risen, I guess, to a new and even a higher, I guess you could say, place during this time. And another significant thing about that, just thinking practically even, is that in this time of illness, one would think that his lack, I guess, of interaction with the group and those around him, really because, of course, of his illness, one would think that authority as a leader would lose precedence, but I had just the feeling or the impression that was actually the complete opposite in this case, because of the spiritual developments that were taking place during this time, made it to where it was actually this presence and this authority actually came to a greater place. So those were kind of the thoughts that were in my head before and right as I had the vision. And in the vision,
You had it when?
that would be yesterday morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
What time?
I think probably around 11 o'clock.
Oh,
11
is
o'clock
that
in the morning.
crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking to this table
Mm-hmm.
with John about authority, power, everything. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Very interesting.
a lot of things. Me and your dad was able to catch up yesterday, and then in the morning I was able to catch up with John.
Mm.
It was like it's like confirmation on the confirmation. On
Wow.
confirmation. Yeah.
Man.
We never communicating. He didn't not really.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, go ahead.
Man. Well, in the vision, I just saw that very large pile of ash that had looked as if it had been very recently created. So the fire had only just recently gone out. So perhaps if those ashes were stirred, embers may even come up. But at the moment, it just was just gray ash. And from that pile, I saw Immanuel rise from it, and immediately after having done so, he went into, I think, what was like a bath of water that was directly next to this pile of ash. And I could see he was.
What does the container look like?
That's the problem, is I didn't have any detail.
Okay.
It's just
It's okay.
the detail of the vision was in what you were doing, not
It's
like
okay. Yeah,
the surroundings as much. So he went into this bath of water after having risen from the ash, and in the same way, after having been submerged in the water, he rose from the water. But this time he was actually holding what was like a small gold ring with both hands. So it was kind of almost placed on his chest, and the way he was holding it. An interesting feature about this ring is that it shone, as I was telling Immanuel earlier, it shone just like a star almost. The ring was in no way shaped like a star, just the sparkle that emitted from it was very large and very star-like. Almost even like a, I don't know, it went in 4 different directions. It was very interesting.
Like a lone star.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. And what I saw take place from there is that he rose from the water and was very quickly clothed in what looked to be like white garments.
What do you mean close up? I put it on myself?
No, it was actually, this is where the details a little bit blurry again, but you were actually clothed by other hands, it seemed.
Oh, okay.
So you didn't clothe yourself because you remained holding this ring. And about this time, the ring had actually grown in size compared to Immanuel, to where it was almost like the size of a steering wheel. The ring became very, very large. So obviously too large for Immanuel to put on as a normal ring. But as the process of the clothing and white robes continued and was finished, it seemed like as a result of that, Immanuel himself grew in size to where the ring actually fit his finger perfectly. So that was the end of that vision.
Wow. It's
Part of the vision I saw myself while in the thicket struck with this spiritual darkness, obviously, without the body during the illness. I can't give you a lot of details about it, and the darkness was so extremely forceful. Try to, almost like he limited you, right? So to take you out, and I was, it's almost like irritated by it, So I said, well, this is enough is enough. When I was doing that, I remember I was stand naked. All the darkness, all the forces was releasing on me, and as a spirit accusation, I can see the serpent. The Leviathan spirit, it was a whole lot of accusation on me. While the darkness kills in, so it's crazy stuff. So that's exactly out of the soul prior to this thing, saw a vision of me in the Leviathan trying to cross the ark actually on the sea. So anyway, that's Nicole's vision. So don't try to do anything. It's happened, you have the objectivity to really bring those things forth to win out what the Lord is doing and what God the purpose is through it.
Right.
But the Lord told me to pair your vision with what I saw, because it's almost like a one vision. So so I was in this moment of really, in Jesus' in Matthew 11 said, force my man, take it by force. Well, the fierceness of the will was really begin to become real in that moment, because he just put up with it, finally it's just, okay, this is good, this is enough, so, and I was doing that, suddenly I found myself naked, and the devil was there accusing. It's like he had double tongue, the forked tongue, so a serpent had forked tongue. So, and he didn't stop that, but I saw myself in it's gross darkness. I mean, there's no light. And suddenly in my chest, I remember the 7-eyed stone was given, and the light began to beam out. It was so quick and brilliant and forceful that pushed darkness away, almost exploded away. As I'm doing that, still, the darkness still are surrounding you, and the devil still continue pour accusation. So I said, it's so irritating, so it's double tongue. I don't know the word. The word given to me is forked tongue.
Yeah.
It's almost like certain characters in life can speak one thing but believe another. Oh, it's just not good intent, So, well, then it was personified by this serpent, this huge serpent. And so I said, well, I want that to be done. Enough is enough. I want that forked tongue to be plugged out and cut off. It's almost like I have a sword right this moment. Alan did a violent slash, I can see the forked tongue was cut off. And as I'm doing that, boom, like explosion happened. So I can hear it. It's almost like the place where I sleep in, little cabin, cottage, was booming,
Wow.
So I said, what's really happening?
Yeah.
And so I wake up from that, and 1 or 2 days later, I was talking to John, your dad, and they said, oh, we heard that ourselves, Do you heard the boom in the natural?
I don't remember. I mean,
Your dad was out in the beach, so he's from the valley.
We hear booms out there pretty often.
Is that right?
Yeah,
I mean, it was a boom, big one.
If you guys heard it from your place,
Yeah.
it's been
It was so huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a bomb took off, Yeah. And so I thought, that's crazy. When I wake up, talk about those things.
Yeah.
That's crazy, huh? So I didn't hear it physically. You see, I was out. And that's exactly when I remember cut and double fork tongue, that's when the bomb took off, you know. So after that, my soul began to be more and more settled, and I came out of darkness, Is that amazing? So while I'm doing that, I remember I asked, well, I'm guaranteed. I remember I put on one garment, everything, and with this stone in my chest, I said, well, what that means? But in the spirit, still remember the Bible, what happened to Joshua, the high priest, in Zechariah 3. I said, where's my turban? And somebody come around and put a turban on my head. I said, well, that's interesting. So we got from the experience, it was not cognitively really linked anything together, because it was struggling hugely, physically, mentally, exasperated in every way. And the Lord said, there's things like, He said, you are the archetype of the priesthood I'm going to release. Archetype, I later on study a little bit, it's crazy, speaking rain. Arche means to rule. So, and type means a type, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like a prototype, you know. So so it's a perfect picture of called a song type, you know. So I mean, it's not me represented like Jesus type. It's called archetype actually. It's basically somebody like model pattern of the Jesus life, you know. So it's crazy stuff. I don't know how to explain to you. And when John the apostle said, "The Word become flesh," it was boring in those times. And Plato, they have Plato's idea. Plato have an idea is called archetype. The word is like everything in real expression. It conceptually have ideal or perfection of things. Idea basically. It's so called the word, the logos. So don't want it to drag too much, but it's crazy. So when those things came, I don't know the word archetype very well, you know, and I don't study philosophy. I even remember those concepts, but I don't know the words. So I read that a little bit. I know I'm babbling, so a lot of things really doesn't make sense. So as I was saying, I like this. I said, "Well, Lord, what about a scepter, the ring?" I have a king, had to have those stuff in my and yesterday I was talking. I think we recorded the vision, published it. We and your dad the first talk we about to pray with John. He just showed up. While we're ready to wrap it up, John showed up, and so we prayed together. The Lord said, "I'm gonna give to him a vision about what's going on." So he saw the scepter, which I saw before we started praying, you know. And so the next thing, I said, "Lord, what about the signet ring?" Can you find your Bible? Haggai is the last portion. Haggai, and read that. It's a signature ring. So I said, what about that one? So you understand all those items are given now? It's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Zechariah and Haggai. And then the ashes, everything. You know, ashes is beauty of ashes. Some Isaiah 61 is talking about the priesthood. You will be priest, you know, being glorified. You're called, a priest, you know, Psalms. Beauty are the ashes. Beauty means being glorified, being honored, being dressed in very, very beautiful ways, you know, honorable like a priest, the king would be anointed. So, beauty are the ashes.
Amen.
Go ahead.
Where in Haggai?
Haggai, the last verse. Let me see. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. This is the last verse of chapter 2.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
Oh, the signet ring. Wow.
Is that right?
Amen.
Read it.
Yeah. On that day, declares the Lord Almighty, I will take you, my servant Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, declares the Lord, and I will make you like my signet ring, for I have chosen you, declares the Lord Almighty.
You know what Zerubbabel means? Okay, Zerubbabel means a branch out of the ashes.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, that's in Zechariah 3.
Very interesting.
You guys found it.
Zechariah 3.
I think somewhere. Yeah. No, I don't quite remember.
Clean garments for the high priest is what this chapter is called.
Yeah, said it is a stick out of the ashes.
A burning stick snatched from the fire.
You saw that? Yeah? Is that there?
In verse 2, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll start from verse 1.
Okay.
Then he showed me Joshua the high priest.
You can read the whole chapter.
Amen. Standing before the angel of the Lord, and Satan standing at his right side to accuse him.
That's exactly right. The devil was on my right side.
The Lord said to Satan, the Lord rebuke you, Satan. The Lord who has chosen Jerusalem rebuke you. Is not this man a burning stick snatched from the fire.
Mm.
Now Joshua was dressed in filthy clothes as he stood before the angel.
Mm-hmm.
The angel said to those who were standing before him, "Take off his filthy clothes."
Mm.
And he said to Joshua, "See, I have taken away your sin, and I will put fine garments on you."
Mm.
Then I said, "Put a clean turban on his head."
Mm.
So they put a clean turban on his head and clothed him, while the angel of the Lord stood by. The angel of the Lord gave this charge to Joshua.
Mm.
"This is what the Lord Almighty says. If you will walk in obedience to me and keep
Yes,
my
Lord.
requirements,
Yes, Lord.
then you will govern my house
Yes,
and
Lord.
have charge of my courts,
Mm-hmm.
and I will give you a place among these standing here.
Mm.
Listen, High Priest Joshua,
Mm.
you and your associates seated before you,
Mm.
who are men symbolic of things to come.
Mm.
I am going to bring my servant, the branch.
Mm.
See the stone I have set in front of Joshua."
Zerubbabel means a branch out of Babel.
Hmm.
Babel is supposed to be burned down. Babylon.
Amen.
Is that amazing? So, go ahead.
"See the stone I have set in front of Joshua.
Mm.
There are 7 eyes on that one stone,
Mm.
and I will engrave an inscription on it, says the Lord Almighty.
Mm.
And I will remove the sin of this land in a single day. In that day, each of you will invite your neighbor to sit under your vine and fig tree, declares the Lord Almighty."
Mm.
Amen.
Mm. Bana sidi gidi da bana sandalanamaya.
The chapter kind of encapsulates everything like both of us saw.
You saw it, right?
Yeah.
So it's crazy
Wow.
a bit, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uncanny stuff.